Hey everybody, Gene Perry here, Freehands Academy. It is it actually Saturday, September 23rd, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the 8-string railboard. So Freehands Friday number 86 is underway here. So I received an email on the concert that Emmett had coming up, along with some great footage from an older recording that Dan posted. I'm actually having a hard time kind of sharing it here. But there's the drummer here. This guy right here, Les DeMerrill. So some good stuff. Anyways, in the email, there was also some news about the 8-string railboard. So let's take a look at this, and you can link out to stick.com, and there's some great pictures of it. If you want to find the link on the page, you're going to have to go to Railboard and then select 8-string. So once you are here, there's a nice 8-slide show here that kind of goes through some of the options on the instrument. Keep in mind that this is pretty much similar, if not identical, to the 10-string, with the single exception that there are less strings, so there is more distance between them, right? Some simple math. So this is kind of I saw one of these for sale on eBay like just maybe 2 days ago, and I kind of had to laugh because I was looking at, the first thing that comes to mind is that, geez, there's missing strings on this thing and it's all kind of screwy. But I also noticed that, hey, look, on the bridge, this really is truly an 8-string stick. And I thought, an 8-string railboard. So I saw this ad actually before I saw it announced on Stick Enterprises. So, that was a trip. I got a kick out of that. So here it is, used on eBay for $2,400 or a better offer. I kind of like the images that I see here better. So where to start with what we need to know about the 8-string railboard? So the railboard was a new instrument that was introduced by Stick Enterprises about 2013, in and around that time. And one of the kind of selling points was that it was a little bit less expensive, which is nice. So maybe we'll talk about that really quickly. Let's talk about the cost. So the railboard, relative to like a 10-string instrument, is going to be on average about $300 less, right? So what is that? 3 over 25, it's almost an eighth. So you're going to save about $300 right there. And you're going to need a case for it. So about $2,500 for the 10 of the 8-string railboard. And the whole point of that exercise, Gene, was that the 8 and the 10-string instruments are the same. You can still get the same hard plasma coating, I would expect, for about $300 more. And it looks like the case is a little bit more. So no, it's about the same price. So same cost there, right? So there's no real difference in cost for the 8 or the 10-string. So the next thing that we should look at with the railboard is the pickup. So if you're thinking about an 8-string instrument, you now have 3 options for pickups. So if we head back over here, you can see that if you're looking at an 8-string bass, you've got 2 options with the active 2 and the passive 4 for a little bit more. So the active 2 is going to cost you the same amount as the 8-string railboard. Right? So, but you get the R block, which is this awesome new pickup from Stick Enterprises that he made in conjunction with Villix. So now you have 3 options for pickups Can you get the R block on a standard wood instrument? I can ask him about that. I'm going to see him this evening, which is another thing I'm kind of excited about. So stick band's getting together this evening. Stick band, an older Bob Culbertson band, and along with Emmett and Don, they're going to be performing this evening. So I think Rick Allegria will be there as well. So that'll be a good show. I might do a little more video when I get out there. We'll see. Definitely get some pictures. Okay, so we talked about the pickup. The same thing as what we see on the Railboard. You can get the R block, some options there for active and passive options, depending. Talked about price. Let's talk about tuning. Same options for tuning. So if we look at the tunings for the bass, you've got standard bass fourths, guitar intervals, guitar lower octave, interior matched reciprocal, interior 8-string classic, and interior dual bass reciprocal. So the second set of 3 there, the interior matched reciprocal, just means that you're going to have a more traditional kind of stick tuning, right? With the fourths and the fifths in the right and left hand respectively. You have some options with the guitar intervals and the guitar lower octave. So there's no recommended tuning as there was with the Railboard, with the raised match reciprocal. So same options apply for the 8-string Railboard, right? And what's really nice about the 8-string Railboard is it does have some nice options for bassists. So in looking at this image right here, you can see relative to the melody side, you've got a lot of space right there with which to work with. Okay, so the exact spacing on the stick bass is 0.410 inches or 10.41 millimeters. So the difference between the width of the actual neck on the 8-string wooden bass and the 8-string Railboard is the same, and that is that instead of it being 3¼ inches or 8.3 centimeters, on the Railboard we see that it's slightly different, right? We see that it's actually 8.9 centimeters or 3½ inches. So the neck is slightly wider. So that's even better for the bassist kind of crossing over to a Chapman stick. So let's look at that again. So right here, this distance was increased, right, by about 1/13. So that's more pronounced on an 8-string Railboard, which is great. So it starts to feel kind of like the NS now. You've got that nice wide spacing. And so something that I'm going to ask Emmett about as well is that he may not be scooping these inner, it might be not doing the CDC cut on the inner parts of the fretboard here to accommodate the thicker strings that were originally intended in the middle of the fretboard, right? And all that means is if you have the bigger strings in the middle, there were a couple cuts that he made here with the CDC machine to accommodate that. With the 8-string Railboard, just because the bridge is so versatile and they do such great things with the setup of these instruments, you can put the bass string anywhere you want it, and it won't matter. So a great opportunity for bassists to explore the instrument and the feel of the instrument as a bass. And nice options. It's a very it's very configurable. So that's kind of another kind of upsell. So options for tuning, string distance. So we talked a little bit about string distance. If you look on stick.com, you'll see that the string spacing right here is 0.410 hundredths of an inch, I guess. And that, one would presume that that is because when you've got just straight fourths. Okay, so in all these images, you see it tuned that way. It's just straight fourths. Okay. If you're looking at other specifications on the page, you're going to see an option for group spacing, which means the distance between the melody and the bass strings. So that's a little more pronounced, right? On these instruments, right? So even more so with the Railboard, okay? But you see the string spacing here, 0.340 or 8.65 millimeters, right? It's greater than it is on the 10 string. But now if we look at, do we have the 12 string? Did I pull up the 12 string? I don't think I pulled up the 12 string. But you can see it's considerably less on a 12 string, or on the ground rather. You can see here, this is what the string spacing is only 3.05 inches, or 7.62 millimeter, right? Just because there's more strings, there's 12 strings, all kind of compete for space there. So you see they're much tighter. So string spacing, I think we've safely covered that. On the eBay article here, I did notice that this person says, or they state, that it can be changed to a 10-string tuning. You know, whether or not Emmett would do that or not, I don't know. I mean, it would just be, if you wanted to customize an 8-string railboard back to a 10-string configuration, it'd probably just be better to sell the darn thing and get yourself a 10-string railboard. So what do we need to know about the 8-string railboard? You're using the R block, right? It's this great new pickup from Stick Enterprises. Has the same level of control. You've got lots of options for tuning, which is really great. So if you want to have straight fourths in the left hand because you're a bassist crossing over to a stick, it's really easy to do. You have the same options for inlays. You can get the dots, the linear inlays, and you have the same options for tuners, the go-tos, or the hip shots, I believe. And then I suppose the only other item that's really configurable is the coloring, or the plasma finish. So he doesn't list, well, yeah, he does list that here. So the optional hard plasma metal coating, if you want it mirrored, you can do that. So, you know, outside of that, outside of all those different kind of elements, it's pretty much a railboard, right? Railboard is a railboard. So lots of different colors, options for linear inlays. You're going to be using the R block, and a couple options for tuners, and it's the same cost. So it just seems like it's a little bit more configurable with regards to how you want to set up the bass strings. You can also use kind of the dual matched, or the dual bass reciprocal, which is pretty cool. And outside of that, you know, it's pretty much the same. So still exciting new products from Stick Enterprises. I was excited to see the email. I'm going to see Emmett, Bob, and Don this evening, and a cat named Rick Allegria who's playing drums with them. They're performing out at the Guitar Merchant, so I'm looking forward to seeing them there. Trying to think of what else is going on. We were doing a bunch of song learn sessions for September, which we'll come back to, and hopefully we'll get some more time with David Tipton and possibly Josh. He's been really busy, so I missed him this Friday. It's actually Saturday, but I'm going to probably catch up to him in the next few weeks here, and see if he has a song that he wants to show us. So trying to be true to the 15-minute format. I've got just a few more minutes here. I'm trying to think of what else we've got going on before the end of the year. Not a lot of events, but that doesn't mean that more are on the way. I think Jim Meyer made an announcement for Vancouver 2018, and he's going to have a pretty special guest out there. So definitely, if you're thinking about heading up there for 2018, check it out. That's going to be a lot of fun. And I think that's about it in terms of the Stickosphere, what's going on. I hope that you, if you have questions regarding the 8-string railboard, let me know. I'm actually going to see him this evening, so get to me sooner than later, and I'll ask him when I see him. All right. Happy Free Hands Friday on a Saturday. Bye.